There was reference to the play Echoes of War by the former Senator for Kakamega, the Honorable Malala. Mr. Malala called me sometime last week, and he mentioned the issue of that this play had been frustrated, was being frustrated at the national level. And he did that because some time back, I think in 2013 or thereabouts, I did file a petition to demand that the Butere girls be allowed to perform their play, which was called Shackles of Doom, incidentally by the same gentleman, Mr. Malala, and the Honorable Majanja, David Shikomera, the late, wrote a very, very, very detailed judgment on the question of freedom of expression, especially artistic expression. So we cannot be brought to a date whereby you can criminalize storytelling or the creative arts or satire. But over and above that, the Ministry of Education has an elaborate structure for filtering plays. And this play was not just sprung onto the national stage. The play started at the school level. The zones, I think, then it comes to the divisions, then it comes to the county, then it goes to the regions, I think it goes to the national. Now, how can it get to the national? Then we begin hearing all these funny things. It is some attempt to play politics, to introduce politics into schools that should be condemned. Because these officers of the Ministry of Education were the very ones who are adjudicating this place right from the grassroots. And none other than the Minister of Education, where it has been quoted as saying that the ministry has not banned that play. The court examined the play, it found it not subversive, to order that the play be allowed to run. It ordered that the author be free to present his play. And so we get to a situation whereby it's a bit disturbing that some overzealous officers then take upon it themselves to try and ram it the wrong way. It's a matter of public record that Butere Girls is the alma mater of some prominent ladies in this country. And some of those ladies are supposed to have been vexed by the fact that their former schools are being associated with this kind of performance, and that they are behind the overreach by the security forces to try and frustrate the play, even when the Minister for Education has gone on record to say that they did not ban that play. And so I would like to call upon those who are in charge of this country to ensure that we don't lose our focus in terms of what should be done, and the use of excessive force against children is not acceptable. We are a democracy, and the use of non-teaching staff in extracurricular activities like writing and directing plays, like coaching people during football, volleyball, netball games, for coaching kids during music festivals, is allowed because a school is not an island. A school is part of the wider community, and it should interact with the wider community. As to say that a politician cannot meddle, yes, Mr. Malala may have been a politician. I've seen some people comment that way. I am also a published playwright, for those who don't know. I could be the topmost playwright living in Kenya today. And I've written plays. I've published plays. My plays are being taught in the Black Drama series in the USA. It doesn't mean that I cannot, that I'm somebody less a human being than who cannot just engage in a school, So you can't say that I cannot go with my vast experience into a school and participate in their drama festivals. So I think as a country, we are dancing down a very, very dangerous slippery slope that is going to attempt and stifle freedom of expression. And above all, after a court has ordered, assuming there was a dispute, the emergency there was none, to just overzealous individuals, assuming there was a dispute, and the court has resolved that dispute by giving specific orders, we cannot afford to defy those orders. If you don't agree with the orders, go back to the court that issued them and demand that they be lifted. Don't try to take the law into your own hands and do whatever you want to do. So, in terms of insubordination that we are also talking about in this particular motion, I feel that this culture of insubordination to legitimate authority needs to be addressed so that we do not end up being our own enemies. We do not end up harming the fabric that holds this country together, and we proceed to encourage the creative arts to help us look at ourselves and to help us understand what exactly we are entitled to as a people. The Echoes of War is a beautiful script whose performance should be allowed to go free of charge, and the arrest of the author and the detention of the author, the former Senator for Kakamega, Mr. Malala, is something that I condemn in the strongest terms possible, and I pray that those who did that be brought to book. And I think this is one thing that will deserve a motion being brought to this House, or a statement being brought to this House, so that we can understand what is happening in Nakuru. We cannot leave it to overzealous individuals, random nationalists, to come and try to tell us the do's or don'ts of the creative arts. We must not get to a place whereby those in power have a reverse Midas touch that...
Senator Omtata,
yes,
just as a matter of guidance, if you could please follow Standing Order 120, relevance and repetition. The motion at hand, if you could, you've deviated, and I've given you leeway to discuss the matter of that you have entered in, but you're dwelling on it too much. If you could just stick to the relevance of the motion, Senator.
Yes, I'm guided, Mr. Speaker, sir. I'm guided by your wisdom. To wind up, I say that I was just going to say to bring up together an analogy that the genesis of the dispute in Trans Nzoia was not being addressed. When I looked at the report, the governor had said clearly that he and the deputy had very good working relationships until he learned that the deputy governor had gone to the deputy president and gotten a trip to go to the USA and wanted funding from the county. And as his assistant, I think he should have begun by getting clearance from the governor to do that. And this insubordination was at the root of it. And I noticed that the report by the committee did not dwell on that. Finally,